Hi, so I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with smoking and how I was able to quit after 26 years. 24 smoking regular cigarettes and about 2 years smoking electronics. So I started smoking when I was about 14 years old. I think my first hit of a cigarette was probably around 10 or 11. I would just smoke whenever I was around certain friends show that I was cool or whatever. I used to steal my mom's cigarettes because she was a smoker. But I actually became a regular smoker when I was 14 because I remember going from the junior high to a gas station that was about 3 blocks away. And I remember the cigarettes were $1 and a dime. That was so cheap compared to what they are now. But yeah, $1 and a dime back in 1987. That's when I was in junior high. That's how I know the year. But so yeah, I smoked pretty much throughout my teenage years, my 20s, and my 30s. Around in my 30s was the first time I ever attempted to quit. I had tried to quit with the gum, the nicotine gum, and the patches. The thing is, I would quit for a week or two, and then I would go back. And I think thinking back now, one of the things that I always did was still hanging around with people that smoked. And when I would be around them, I would think it was okay to just take a hit of their cigarette, um, or ask them for a cigarette, thinking, oh, it's been 2 weeks since I've smoked or whatever. Let me have a cigarette. Then when after I would smoke that cigarette, I would say, hey, can I bum another one before I leave or whatever. And then I find myself trying to purposely be around these people that smoked so that I could bum a cigarette. And then little by little, I would end up bumming 4 or 5 and end up bumming their half their pack. And then I'd end up buying a pack again. So I would start again. So it wasn't that I couldn't quit, I just was always going back. But I mean, I tried quite a few times and I wasn't able to quit. So that was in, I guess, my mid 30s. And when I was around 40, I remember taking a yoga, a yoga class. And I remember thinking totally different. I started thinking totally different because of the things that the teacher would say. She would be like, okay, breathe in this, this life, this life-giving breath, and breathe out toxins and things like that, and stress and things. And when I would go back outside and light up, I would be like taking a hit, and I'd be like, when I'd inhale, I'd be like, I'm breathing in toxins. I'm doing it backwards. I'm not breathing out toxins. Like, you know. So I started thinking differently after those classes, and then another thing I had started going to massage classes to learn how to be a massage therapist. And most of the other students, they weren't like me. They didn't smoke. They were more like hippie-ish kind of people that were, I don't know, just different, different than me. But they weren't smokers. I know because I was the only one at break that would go run out to my car to smoke. And a couple of times people would see me and they'd look at me, and I kind of was like embarrassed. And when I'd go back in, I'd wash my mouth out and spray myself down with perfume and be like, I wonder if they can smell me. Because we had to sit like really close on the floor. And I was like really close to them. And I would be like, I wonder if I smell like cigarettes. And being an ex smoker now, I know they could smell me. How embarrassing. But yeah, so those two things kind of made me start to think differently about it. And so something changed in me at the time, and I decided I didn't want to smoke anymore. And I started smoking those vape cigarettes that you put in the nicotine. And those didn't work out for me because a couple times I had that swallowed that nicotine. Oh God, those things are terrible. So then I moved on to those electronic cigarettes, and I really like those. Those were great because you can take them anywhere. I used to be in the doctor's office and smoking in there, and no one knows because it doesn't smell. It kind of has a smell, but not that strong. So yeah, I thought those were great. But a couple of people were telling me and making me think, they were like, those haven't been around for long. When things haven't been around for a while, you end up finding out later that it causes this and that. And then, someone put that in my head. And then one time I was in the dentist, and something that had never happened before, they said, well, see something, and let me have the dentist check. And I was like, well, what do you see? And he said, well, we're checking for mouth cancer. And I was like, oh my God, did you see something? Oh my God, it stings. Um, so ended up didn't find anything that time, but oh my God, how scary. And I'm like, what am I doing? So little by little, I was like, I want to quit this. I want to quit this. And, finally, the last time that something happened was in the middle of the night. I woke up and I couldn't take a full breath without really sharp, strong pain in my chest. And I was like, oh my God. And I was so terrified. It just scared the shit out of me. I was so scared that I promised myself and I promised God, I was like, I am not going to forget how scared I am right now. And I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. Tomorrow I'm going to quit. Because if I can't breathe, what can I do? Like, you know? So the next day I went out and got the Nicoderm CQ patches, the step one, and I threw all my chargers, all my cigarettes away, and I haven't smoked since. And I think, I don't know what it was. It was a little bit of everything that built up in me to say, that's it. But I have been nicotine free for over 2 years now, and I feel so good. Every once in a while, I get a little urge, but not for regular cigarettes. I do for the electronic cigarettes. I don't know why, but it feels so good. And yeah, I wanted to make this video to say that if I can do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it. So, and cigarettes aren't just nasty. Just quit. So if anyone's watching this, hope this helped you. And thanks so much for watching and listening to all my story. I know it was a long one. It's already been 8 minutes. I don't know if anyone's still watching, but if you are, thank you. Have a good night, and I'll see you in the next video.